what if Inception was a YA novel? And what you get is Silver and the Book of Dreams. This is directed by Helena Hufnagel and it stars Yana McKinnon as Liv Silver. So the movie starts with Liv Silver and her sister moving from Germany to London because their mother is there. Now, the minute they show up at their mother's new house, the mother is like, "Hey, I have a new boyfriend."
Willkommen to London.
This is earnest.
And then, if that's not enough, the boyfriend is like, "Hey, I have two children of my own. I have a son and a daughter." And then you get the usual sort of first dinner scene where everyone is a little antagonistic towards each other, and Liv is like, "I hate everyone," and she like walks off.
Whoops.
I'm so sorry.
Florence, could you please show?
No, I don't need anyone's help.
And then that night, she ends up having like a fairly vivid dream. And in that dream, she runs into four boys, one of them being her new stepbrother.
You saying Greg?
Hey, Jess. Hey, Artie.
Right, Scott, fine. This way.
And then she wakes up and then she goes to school the next day and she runs into the same four boys.
Arthur, Jasper, Henry, who you're gonna love
She's right there.
if you're into boys.
And they're like, "Hey, you're a dream walker and we are dream walkers too. So why don't we get together and form a band?" And at first, Liv is like, "Nope." And then 2 minutes later, she's like, "Okay."
Oh, nice. Are we a band now or something?
And then the boys are like, "Hey, we also have this magical book called the Book of Dreams.
You ever heard of the Book of Dreams?
And there's a spell in it which will make our wishes come true. So let's do that spell." Now, whenever something like that happens, I always think that, every fantasy and science fiction movie sort of exists in a bubble where there are no other fantasy or sci-fi movies get made in that universe. Because the minute you find like a magical spell that says like all your wishes will come true, you kind of go like you've never seen anything like Wishmaster.
He is coming. He knows your secret hopes. He sees your private dreams. And he can grant your every desire, even if it kills you. As you wish.
Because the minute you get something like that, the first thought is there has to be a catch.
There are a few provisos, a couple of quid pro quos.
Right, like something is going to go horribly wrong. Now, to give the movie some credit, the book is kind of sneaky and it hides the catch sort of relatively well. So the catch being that not only will one wish come true, but your worst nightmare will also come true. And then the rest of the movie is sort of Liv and the band trying to figure out how to undo the spell. And there are a few sort of nice little twists and turns that you might not see coming. So it does a good job with that. Now, the film has quite a few positives. Like firstly, Yana McKinnon as Liv Silver is really good. Like she's a good actress and she has a good screen presence. And you kind of remain invested in her character throughout the movie because she's in almost every single scene. Like, so she has to be good enough. And she is. The other thing is that because the movie is really short, like it's only about 90 minutes, it kind of speed runs through or almost completely avoids the usual kind of YA novel or sort of teen movie tropes or cliches that are there. Okay, so you have the stepfather character and Liv is like, "I don't like my new stepfather." But then he kind of disappears after like 2 scenes. And then she has a stepsister who is sort of mean to her, but then she disappears after 3 scenes. And then when she goes to school, there are no bullies, there are no mean girls, there are no teachers. Like there is literally no major teacher character, which is like really weird for a movie that takes place like a fair bit in the high school. That's both a positive and a negative because on the positive side, the movie kind of laser focuses on the plot. On the negative side, the movie has no depth. Okay. Now, as far as like the major negatives are concerned, I only have 2. Like one, the movie isn't imaginative enough. Okay, like for a movie that takes place in the dream world, it doesn't get sort of really weird or really crazy. Like it does have a decent budget, so it has a few nice VFX shots that are pulled off really well, but it never gets like really weird or crazy with the dream world. Like if one of the more interesting dream movies that you can ever watch is The Cell with Jennifer Lopez. That's a serial killer movie, but if you want to see like how crazy they can go with dreams, that one does a really good job. This one is okay. The other issue I have, which is kind of more important, is that the movie never really builds up any kind of tension. So even after they find out that their worst nightmare is going to come true, all the nightmares are kind of just, like it feels like they're like mildly inconvenienced by it. Okay, like my thought was like you can take every nightmare and turn it into like a Final Destination kind of scenario and sort of like really ratchet up the tension, but it doesn't really do anything like that. Like even when it moves to the climax, it's just like, yeah, okay, but I'm never on the edge of my seat. But overall, like as a final positive, I'll say like I was never bored by the movie. Like the movie kept me interested throughout, and it kept my attention because like social media has sort of completely destroyed my brain. Like I have the attention span of a goldfish with ADHD. So if the movie gets even mildly boring, I'll start fast forwarding. But with this one, I kind of watched it all the way through. So that's a good thing. So as a recommendation, I would say if you are looking for a fairly decent fantasy movie, or if you have kids over the age of 10 and you want to sit down and watch a fantasy movie with them, this is a pretty good movie to watch. And as usual, like and subscribe and comment. And I watch fairly random movies, so if you have any recommendations for movies that I should watch, let me know. If I find something interesting, I'll watch it and review it.